I'm Kate, your Russian language coach for singers. My mission is to help English-speaking singers not only perform the Russian repertoire with perfect diction, but also to provide the deep context needed to truly understand and fall in love with Russian music. Today, we'll be talking about the women's chorus from the end of the first act of Tchaikovsky, Eugene Onegin. I've already done a detailed phonetic breakdown of the chorus on my channel. The link will be provided somewhere here. In this video, I want to talk about this piece within the wider context of the original novel in verse, not just the opera itself. So, in the opera, the chorus Maidens, fair maidens, in Russian it sounds like Devitsy, krasavitsy, appears in Act 1, Scene 3. Tatyana has spent a sleepless night writing and rewriting the letter to Onegin. This letter is not just an expression of her first sincere feelings. It's an act of incredible bravery and a terrifyingly reckless risk for that particular time period. For a girl in her social standing, to be the first to confess her love was absolutely unthinkable. Doing it in writing was essentially a social suicide. In the wrong hands, this letter could have destroyed the reputation and future of the entire Tatyana's family. Tatyana's letter is like a sword, carefully sharpened, hanging above her and her family's future. She's not just waiting to see if her feelings are reciprocated. She has made the most dangerous move of her life. And this is where the chorus comes in. In its simplicity, lightness, the charm, it serves as a stunning contrast to the life or death drama Tatyana is experiencing. I'm focusing on the latter because it holds a very special place in Pushkin's novel. Within the architecture of the book, the Maiden songs is the twin, the mirror of Tatyana's letter. And here's why. Alexander Pushkin wrote Eugene Onegin in a very strict, self-imposed framework called the Onegin Stanza, also known as Pushkin's sonnet. Apart from using the strict iambic meter, he also introduced a peculiar rhyming scheme. The entire novel, it's about 400 stanzas long, follows this rigid structure with only two exceptions: Tatyana's letter and the Maiden's song. Tatyana, who grew up reading French novels, actually struggled to write in Russian. It was absolutely common for the aristocracy of the time. Her letter is written as if translated. That's why it doesn't follow the strict stanza format. Only 8 stanzas later, in the novel, we've got a maiden song. It has no formal rhyme and a shifting meter. It is the raw, folk-like flow of the common people, free from complexity of the French-speaking upper class. The peasant girls sing the song at dawn for a very practical reason. They're harvesting berries. Since they're picking ripe, juicy cherries, raspberry and currants, there's a huge temptation to pop delicious berries into their mouth instead of their baskets. The singing was a charming tradition that doubles as a productivity hack. If you are singing, you can't be eating the profits. We've got 3 particular berries here: sour cherry, raspberry, and red currant. Notice that these all are bush-growing berries. Strawberries or cloudberries grow low in the ground. You have to crawl to pick them, leaving no breath for singing. But bushes? I personally remember that our summer cottage called dacha as a child. The sun, the summer, a little basket on a string around your neck. You go to the same bush every day to find a new scat of perfect sweet berries that ripened overnight. 200 years have passed. The world has changed several times, but the genius of Pushkin and Tchaikovsky creates an atmosphere that is truly timeless. Now, I know it seems like I'm talking a lot about berries. This song is only 18 lines long and mentions just 3 types of fruit. How much can there be to say? Well, no, I'm not done yet. Cherry, specifically the sour cherry, is my absolute favorite. I'm talking about the reveal that Russian Vishnya, not the sweet bean cherries common in Britain. By the way, this is my quiet immigrant's plea. If you know where to buy fresh sour cherries in London, please message me ASAP. Anyway, in the song, the word for cherry is used in a very archaic form, vishen'em. If you ask a modern Russian speaker if that word exists, they will 100% say no. In modern Russian, the grammar has shifted. While raspberry and red currant, malina, krasная смородина, are used in their familiar forms, vishen'em, repeated twice, so it's not a typo, is a rare and polished diamond of authentic Old World Russian. The sour cherry has a complex fate in our language. You know that Chekov's famous play, the last play, the Cherry Orchard. By the way, it's a sour cherry, and for Russian it's crucial. The play is ending with the sound of falling trees, and this metaphor is used as a symbol of an old Russia. The name of the play was actually pronounced as Vishnya Sad. Let me explain you how it works. So the cherry itself is Vishnya. So if we talk about something done with cherry or using cherry, it would be Vishnya, Vishnevy. The stress in these type of words, stress is remaining at the same part. But during 100 years since the Chekov's Sour Cherry Forest was written, the life nature of language changed the accent completely. Nowadays we call it Vishnyowy Sad, because when the word is just emerging in the language, it keeps the initial stress. But when word is living in a language, in Russian language, we've got a tendency, all long words are trying to get the accent somewhere in the center. That's how Vishnyowy Sad by Chekov in 1903 moved to Vishnyowy Sad nowadays. By the way, not all native speakers know this. Even the famous ballerina Diana Vishnyeva or Vishnova deals with this. You can see that English Wikipedia lists two versions of transliteration of her name for English, because these two versions are based on different stress. Vishneva or Vishnova. So now you know everything there is to know about berries. Let's get back to our maidens and brave lads. The girls aren't just singing about fruit. They're singing about a brave lad, Molodets, brave lad, which mirrors Tatyana's longing. But for the peasant girls, this lad is totally imaginary. They're dreaming of patriarchal, proper scenario where a boy sees their diamonds and pick one of them. This simple, safe reality cuts Tatyana to the quick because her reality is so much more uncertain. In the novel, Tatyana is left in agonizing suspense for weeks. In opera, Tchaikovsky resolves this tension 2 minutes after the letter was sent, right after the chorus ends, when Onegin returns her letter with a tedious lecture on manners. So this cheerful song perfectly frames the drama, ending in the first act with a hauntingly beautiful contrast. That's all for me today. This has been Kate Astra-Soprano, your Russian language coach, tasting berries with you. Bye-bye!